Welcome to another beautiful morning. How is the day going? Good morning, teachers, educators, whenever you're watching this from. I want to believe your day is going well. Okay, so today we are going to be discussing on this topic, the law of retention, how to increase learning retention in the children that you teach. Most times I keep getting questions from teachers, different part of the countries on how they can help their kids to retain information. Of course, we live in a generation where a lot of us, even children, have a lot of things, in their memory due to the fact that we are so exposed to a lot of things via internet and all that. So today I'll be sharing with you briefly few things you can do as a teacher to help your kids to retain to retain information, to retain all that you are teaching them. There is no joy in after spending 45 minutes, 1 hour to teach in a class and you discover that your kids are not learning. The joy of teaching is to discover that after many months, many days, many weeks, many years, what you taught them is still in their memory. That's the joy of teaching. So what is the essence of you teaching your children and they are not retaining the informations that you're passing across? So today I'll be sharing with you on the law of retention, how powerful ways you can help them to learn, to retain informations and to retain all that you are teaching them. Of course, some of these principles are stuff that I already know, and probably you failed to do them, but today I'll be bringing them to you in another light. So there's a book I read sometimes ago from Feladro Toye, I think about 11 years ago, on the topic, the 17 laws of high flying students. In that book, one of the laws in that book talks about the law of retention, and it has to do with how, the powerful ways you can easily retain information by teaching others. There's a particular boy in that book. I will not be able to explain everything in that particular book, but let me just briefly tell you the part of the law of retention that talks about a boy who was teaching his friends. There are two guys. One was teaching his friends, everything he has learned. The other was not. The other was reading. So the one that was reading happens to be the best student before. But when the new guy came in, the new guy started teaching other guys. So the attention of those, students shifted from the old guy to the new guy. So the old guy started reading. He was so, upset. He left his friends, started, during their prep time in the night. It was a boarding school. The old guy will keep reading over and over, can read about 4 or 5 hours, while the new guy kept on teaching his friends every time. The time he was supposed to use to read, he was using such time, that time, to teach his colleagues. So during the prize giving day, stuffs like that, when result comes out, the guy will always top the class, collect all the prizes and all that. So the old guy was wondering what this new guy was doing to always, become the talk of the town in the school. He summoned the courage to meet the new guy and asked him what he was doing or what he has been doing, and the new guy made him realize that the old guy has stopped doing what he was doing before. You understand? That is the law of retention. He made him realize that over time, during their night prep, he spent his time to teach his mate while you only read. So the new guy was trying to explain to the old guy that one of the powerful ways to learn or to retain any information is to teach other people what you have learned or that stuff that you know. So one of the best thing is the law of retention. It can happen to anybody as a teacher. One of the reasons you go to the classroom without a textbook or anything is actually because you have that thing stored somewhere in your memory. And you cannot have anything stored in your memory until you have done it over and over and over. So over time as a teacher, you have even practiced this law of retention, maybe without knowing. So today I'll be sharing with you 4 things you can start doing right now or that you've been doing before, but I'll be bringing it back to you in a new light, for your kids. If you want your kids, not to give you problem when it comes to retention, when it comes to learning, when it comes to assimilating. So practice these 4 things immediately. Number one, Use narrative style of teaching. Of course, every teacher must be a fantastic public speaker. Every teacher must be a fantastic storyteller. I have said this over and over, and I will say it again. When you put your information in story form, it is easier for the brain to deeply engage and learn. Children learn faster and better when you tell a story. Children, you just have to find a way around every topic, every subject that you teach. And you just have to keep bringing up stories that relate with what you are teaching if you want them to learn, not just learn. If you want them to learn effectively, it is important for you to use narrative style of teaching. Find a way to tell a story on everything that you teach them. Children don't forget story easily. Why do you think that some of us will watch a movie, we see a movie, and after seeing such movie, we can explain to other people everything that we saw? Why is it that many of us will go to church and some of us will not even remember the message the pastor preached, but we can remember everything the drama department did? That is how powerful a story could be. So you should learn to use the narrative style of teaching if you want your kids to learn better and faster. Again, I say, when you put your information in story form, it is easier for the brain to deeply engage and learn. You must learn to become a fantastic storyteller so that your kids can easily learn. Use narrative style of teaching. Number two, never give out too many information. Of course, a lot of teachers today, what they do is that they give out a lot of information thinking that they are helping the kids. No, you don't. Especially if you are teaching the lower children. I'm talking about the primary school. If you are teaching the primary school, maybe those who are between basic 3 downward, you are not doing them any good when you give them too many information. Information overload is a leading factor in poor knowledge retention. You wondered why your kids are not getting better. You wondered why your kids are not retaining information. It may probably because you overload them with information that they don't even need. So what you do is that fish out the right information and the right one, just the right one, and give it to them. You don't have to overload them with too many notes. You don't have to overload them with too many, explanation. A lot of us as teachers, we take time to explain in the classroom what they don't even need. Learn to give the right information to your children and they will learn faster. So when you overload them with too many information, it leads to poor knowledge retention. When you have a lot of information in your mind or in your head, how do you expect them as little children to maneuver it and still do better? So when they have too many things in their brain, when you give them too many information, most times they get confused and they will not be able to give you back in a result form. So you want them to get better. Never give out too many information. Then number three, encourage active participation. This is very important. Many kids you teach today don't even realize, they don't even know, they don't have an idea of, what they know or how much they know until they started teaching others. You may not really, you see, you are going to do them a lot of favor, a very good one, when you encourage active participation, not just that you ask them to solve a particular task. No, call them out one after the other to do something on the board. Let them explain that particular topic, that particular assignment or whatever to their kids. It doesn't have to be you all the time. There is no way you will teach people something and you will not have it stored in your memory. It is a law, and that is why we're talking about the law of retention. So you must learn to use this style if you want your kids to keep learning. Encourage active participation. Many of the kids you teach, you won't realize how much they know until they started teaching others. Encourage peer-to-peer, form of learning. Let them teach each other. Let them come out every day. When you keep doing this, you are helping them to build more courage and you're also helping them to retain that same thing. So it will just be some people. You will have a larger percentage of children in your class that are very active and that also understood all that you have been teaching. So it is important that you encourage active learning if you want to get the best from your pupils. Then number four, you must learn to practice repetition method. Of course, when you learn to find a creative, you must learn to find a creative way to repeat new information in order to enhance long-time recall for little children, for pupils in class, even the adults. when you hear something, when you listen to something over and over again, there is a way you remember it automatically. It still happened to me just this morning. There was a song I played when I woke up, and you can't believe that I kept, the song keep coming into my mind over and over. That is the power of, repetition. When you listen to something over and over again, subconsciously the stuffs keep coming. There is a way that thing will keep reoccurring, will keep coming to your mind. That is how powerful it is. But you must do your own in a very creative way if you want them to learn. So you don't want, because if you don't do it in a creative way, you are going to create a very boring environment that will not even help them at all. So learn to practice repetition method. Find a creative way to repeat new information every time you get into your class. Every time you pick up your marker and you want to do something, find a creative way to repeat information in order to help them enhance their long-term recall. So this is important in learning. What is the essence of teaching when learning doesn't take place? What is the essence of learning when your kids fail to retain all that they have learned? So it is important for us, both you and the pupils that you teach, that retention is very powerful if we must get results. And I must say that a lot of children today only read to pass, they don't read to know. But when you practice this law of retention, automatically they are going to leave the level of passing just that subject to knowing it. And when they know it, it means that they can practice it. It means that it can be useful for them at any time in the future. Learn to encourage this, to put in place these 4 things in your children, and I bet you that you are going to get amazing results. I want to believe you have learned something. I want to believe you have gotten something. You've learned 1 or 2 things. Share with me in the comment box, and I also want you to press the like button and also ensure that you subscribe so that you can keep getting new videos every day on how to become a fantastic teacher. I want to wish you a fantastic day. Thank you very much, and do have an amazing journey in your profession. I remain Sam, ADENIJI Education and Management Consultant. Thank you.